It was just a horrific scene. Her last words were, "Please stop." Kelsey Barrett, born in 1989, was a pilot and flight instructor. On December 2nd, 2018, Cheryl Barrett, Kelsey's mother, gave a call to the Woodland Police Department. She hadn't heard from her in over a week. The cops rolled on up, saw her car was in the driveway, her purse and cell phone. Of course they were missing. There was also stale, uneaten food on the counter, work gear, makeup. That was all still at home. A missing persons report was filed.
I still know somebody knows where she's at. There's more information out there.
The last time Kelsey was seen was about 12:30 p.m. on the 22nd of November on surveillance cameras in the Safeway supermarket. Daughter Kaylee was with her. She was engaged to Patrick Frazee. He last saw Kelsey that day too, when he took their child. They didn't live together. And he also said that Kelsey and himself broken up. Bizarrely, he also never notified the police that she was missing. Interesting. He received a text from Kelsey's cell phone on November 25th.
Officers were able to contact her place of employment at Doss Aviation down in Pueblo, Colorado. They had received a text from Kelsey's phone on the 25th of November stating that she would not be into work the following week. Kelsey's phone gave a location near Gooding, Idaho on November 25th at about 5:13 in the afternoon,
which is around 800 miles from her home. A candlelit vigil was held. People were getting just a little bit worried.
So there's about 50 to 60 folks. We spoke with the organizers of this vigil. They just felt it was the right thing to do.
Patrick, he didn't attend the vigil or any press conferences at all. 4 days after Kelsey was missing, a search warrant was executed on Patrick Frazee's home. Police thought that maybe he might just know a little bit more than he was letting on. Spit it out.
His phone was searched. He submitted photographs and DNA. Frazee dodged reporters and refused to answer questions.
This is private property.
Patrick, why don't you talk to us? Can you tell us what happened?
Cheryl saw a suspicious stain on the underside of the toilet seat. She called the police. They found blood in her toilet, the outside of her bathtub, the bottom of a trash can, on the walls, the floor, a towel rack, the vanity, and on an electrical outlet. Not good.
Today we arrested Patrick Frazee on charges of first-degree murder of Kelsey Barrett. As you can tell from the arrest, sadly, we do not believe Kelsey is still alive.
On December 31st, Patrick was formally charged with 5 counts of murder, 2 counts of first-degree murder, and 3 counts of solicitation to commit murder. A few days later, they arrested 32-year-old Crystal Lee, the nurse who worked in Idaho.
The police and sheriff's departments in Twin Falls, Idaho were able to gather some evidence. Twin Falls is about a 40-minute drive from Gooding, Idaho, where Kelsey's cell phone pinged 3 days after she was last seen.
She was also the ones who sent texts from Kelsey's phone. She pled guilty to 1 count of tampering with physical evidence, and she agreed to testify against Patrick. Patrick had been having a relationship with Crystal Lee on again, off again for about 10 years, and he wanted Kelsey gone, but he wanted full custody of their daughter. He would tell Crystal that Kelsey was a terrible, abusive, horrible mother. They came up with this plan. Crystal would steal drugs from the place she was a nurse. She was gonna rock up with a Starbucks cup of coffee that was poisoned. That's honestly the stupidest murder plot I've ever heard in my life. These two were idiots. She rocked up, but she said she couldn't go through with it. So after 3 unsuccessful murder attempts, Patrick was like, I'll do it myself. He'd gone to Kelsey's home, concealing a baseball bat on Thanksgiving Day. With their 1-year-old daughter Kaylee playing in the next room, he blindfolded Kelsey and pretended he was going to light scented candles and play a guessing game with her. He pulled out the baseball bat and struck her 10 to 15 times. Her last words were, "Please stop."
Now I got
He then asked Crystal to get over there and clean up the mess. She thought that he might do what he'd done to Kelsey to her, so she drove the 12 hours, spent 4 hours cleaning it up. She said it was just a horrific scene.
I found blood all over the floor, up the wall. There were 2 chairs right there with the TV on top of it. There was a bunch of baby toys around the front.
When did you start cleaning up first?
I started picking up things that were blood splattered.
In the interview you told us that you had left blood spots. Can you show me where you left those?
Maybe right there. There was a lot of blood all over the floor. So there may have been bloody footprints in here.
You saw and cleaned blood up on the wall. So you picture that?
The spray was from here all the way.
At one point, he even asked her to search for a tooth near a vent in the home. So yeah, grisly. She also filled 6 garbage bags with items from the home and burnt them. She refused to help him dispose of the body though, so he put it in a black bag, took her body to the family's farm and dumped it in a water trough. He then doused it in gasoline, covered it with wood and burned it. You know, with all this, the police searched for Kelsey's body, but they They could never find it. On October 28, 2019, Patrick Frazie's trial began. Witness testimonies were heard from Crystal Lee and Kelsey's parents, as well as a Verizon store employee. Patrick came into his store on December 11th and asked if there was a way to change the PIN on a phone if he didn't have the phone in his possession, and also if anybody could recover information from a phone that had been destroyed. What a unusually specific question to ask. On the last day of Patrick's trial, an inmate told the Patrick recently asked him to use his connections to a prison gang to kill a number of witnesses in the case. The hit list included detailed instructions on where to find the witnesses,
allegedly writing, "They all need to disappear," and "I'd really like to see Crystal with a bullet in her head."
It took a jury 3 hours to reach their verdict. Patrick Frazie was found guilty of murder, tampering with a deceased human body, and 3 counts of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. Patrick got life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 156 years for several other charges. Crystal Lee appeared. She got 3 years for tampering with evidence. She also faces a year of parole when she is released. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you as
this guy in the stories he be finding right here, that chapter, that guy, he be finding some crazy stories, and this dude is so shiesty that he done got his side chick involved in his messy mess, you know what I'm saying? And it's a good thing she didn't get, you know, time like he did. But at the same time, when, you know what I'm saying, they was trying to poison her and all that type of stuff, what she should have did was went to the authorities and told them what happened. Now, again, you know what I'm saying, she didn't do it. So then who knows what she thought was going to happen, you know what I'm saying, after that. And then she got involved in some mess, so she had to try to do the best. So hopefully, this is what I was talking about, that dating stuff, man. Some guy should just, man, look what he ain't got her in. That dating life, she probably ain't done with dating.